Welcome back, everybody. Well, Historic Denver just announced the recipients of its 2023 annual awards given to projects and people preserving key buildings in Denver. These awards are for buildings that are not only historic, but also provide affordable housing, showcase adaptive reuse, and have a presence that is distinctively Denver. We have to love that. Here to tell us more is Development Director Jay Homstad, along with two of the award winners, Tom and Gertie. Guys, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. Well, Jay, I have to start with you. Tell me all about these awards and why people are being honored.
Sure. So, historic buildings are an important part of our cultural fabric.
Yeah.
And after saving our flagship property, the Molly Brown House in 1970, Historic Denver has spent the last 53 years advocating for the places and spaces around the city that really matter to Denverites.
Yes.
And, we really pride ourselves in also celebrating those who, are finding creative ways to save them. Yeah. In terms of affordability, sustainability, and inclusivity.
Yes, incredible. And that's why, of course, we have these two amazing people here today. Guys, thank you so much. And Tom, I want to come to you here. How did Historic Berkeley Regis become a Community Preservation Award winner? And what does this mean to you? This has got to be huge.
It is huge. We formed in 2016. We're a neighborhood historic preservation organization. Yeah. Focused on the northwest corner of Denver, north of 38th and west of Federal Boulevard. And we formed because there was an unprecedented number of demolitions taking place in our part of the city.
Sure.
And one of the things that became very important to us is a threatened 1960 mortuary that closed.
Okay.
It's right on the corner of the main commercial street in Berkeley, Tennyson,
sure.
and the parkway between the two parks, Berkeley and Rocky Mountain. What we succeeded in doing was, it was threatened with demolition. Sure. We found a buyer that was willing to buy it, landmark it, and it currently houses a Montessori school and a church.
Wow.
And the area around it is now being filled with townhouses that will provide new housing for the area.
Excellent. Wow. Oh my goodness. So there's so much to be celebrated here, which is so wonderful. Now, Gertie, I want to come to you too. How do you feel about winning the Molly Brown Award, which was created to actually honor a woman who demonstrated Margaret Brown's commitment to the community? I mean, you have to feel honored to be kind of listed in that realm with her.
Well, I'm very honored, but I'm also really pleased that Denver's historic tree-lined streets are also being recognized as part of Denver's historic legacy.
Yes.
I grew up in a neighborhood with tree-lined streets, riding my Flexi Flyer down the sidewalks, and it's always been important to me to have trees in my environment. I got really involved when my brother, who had a nursery, tree nursery, was about to, told me he was going to throw away some trees he couldn't sell. And I said, Charlie, you don't throw away trees. And so I got two neighbors with trucks, and we went out and got the trees, and we came back in and gave them away free, just driving down the street in my neighborhood. And that got me started, and I then started a program called Denver Digs Trees, which is a program that provides trees for people to plant along the streets in their neighborhood. It's just, to me, really important that we preserve that legacy of the tree-lined streets for the sanity of the residents and the health and security of our neighborhoods.
I couldn't agree more, and I think so many watching at home would agree that going to other big cities and seeing no trees and then coming home to Denver and just driving down, even downtown Denver, and saying, there's so much greenery in our city, is just, it's so important, and it's so incredible to be able to call this home with so many trees. So we thank you, of course, for your work. That is so wonderful. Now, of course, you guys are only just two of the incredible winners that we have this year. Jay, who are some of the other winners as well?
Sure. So we have St. Francis Warren Residences.
Yes.
And we also have York Street Yards, Rhesus, who's here on last week. And then from there, we also have Tom Starlight. And then our individual award winners, Jerry Glick and the Honorable Elbera Wedgeworth.
Wow.
So some great award winners this year.
Some great award winners. This is so wonderful. Well, I want to go down the line here and talk to each of you about why this is so important to each of you to be able to honor the history of Denver and just these historic buildings. So Jay, I'll start with you. Why is this important to you personally?
Sure. I think a lot of people think as historic preservation being in the past, when really the people that we honor and celebrate are helping craft the Denver of tomorrow.
Yes.
And so that's a really big component. We're not just in the past. This, we're all working together to create a better Denver.
Absolutely. Tom, what about for you?
Well, actually, the mission statement of Historic Berkeley Regis is making the past present.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that we have a sense of character in neighborhoods, that we can relate to all the new people coming into the neighborhoods. There's get a huge number of new people in Berkeley,
Yes.
and we want to convey that sense of history to them.
Absolutely. And Gertie, what about for you?
Well, for me, one doesn't plant a tree for today. One plants a tree for 20 years on down. And I think it's important, just as Tom said, there are a lot of new people coming to Denver, and they probably come from parts of the country where trees grow much more easily than they do here.
Yeah.
And our trees not only need to be planted, they need to be cared for once they're in the ground. And caring for the trees that we plant is really important. It is forward, it's very much a forward-looking thing.
Yes. Well, we appreciate all of you for the work you have done to make our history so much a part of our future. Thank you guys all so much for being here.
Thank you.
Of
Thank
course,
you
and
for having us.
congratulations. Yes, of
Thanks.
course. And guys, I want you to know that gala is November 2nd at the Brown Palace. If you would like to attend, for tickets and information, you can head to historicdenver.org to honor these wonderful people.